Hello everyone and welcome again to a Shortstop with a Shortstop. Today we're going to talk a little bit about time.
And the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall arise, no sorrow.
If you look at some professional athletes in baseball, you have Pete Rose played into his 40s. Phil Niekro, a knuckleball pitcher, played into his 40s. A man by the name of Satchel Paige pitched into his 50s. And then, we look at football. We look at Tom Brady, a quarterback. He played till he was 46. He just now retired again, but yet it's a struggle to be able to play up into those ages. But time goes on. It marches on whether we want it to or not. But there was another baseball player by the name of Manny Minoso. He's a Cuban. He was the first black baseball player that ever played for the Chicago White Sox. But this guy played in 5 different decades. And that's saying a lot right there. And he wanted to come back in 1990 and play in 6 decades. But the commissioner of baseball at that time denied the request, and so he didn't do it. So he just played in 5 different decades. But the Bible, and look at the dispensations of times, there's 3 different dispensations. We have what we call the patriarchal age. It started at the very beginning of time with Adam, and it went all the way to Exodus chapter 34 when Moses came down the second time from Mount Sinai with the 10 Commandments. In Exodus chapter 34 all the way to Acts chapter 2, we have the Mosaical age. And then from Acts chapter 2 until the end of time, we have what is called the Christian age. And today, we're living in the last days because there's not going to be any other dispensation or any other time other than the Christian age. And if we look in Genesis chapter 5 and verse 27, there was a man by the name of Methuselah. He literally lived to be 969 years old, and that's a long time. But I want to talk to you here first of all a little bit about the flood. Noah was told by God to build an ark. He found favor in God's eyes, and he built the ark. It took him about 120 years to do it, and he preached that whole time. At this time, God had told Noah that he was literally sad that he had ever created man because they had become so defiled, so wicked, that he was going to destroy them. And he told him he was going to do it with a flood by water, and that was why Noah was to build the ark. But here's the sad thing. There was only 8 people that got on that ark. That was Noah and his wife, his 3 sons and their wives. And there was millions of people on the earth at that time. And they were marrying, giving in marriage. They were having parties. They were just going on about their lives. But Noah had preached to them and told them what was getting ready to happen. But they just did not want to pay any attention to it. And the time came. And God sent the floodwaters down, and it destroyed the whole world. Then if we look in Genesis chapter 19, Sodom and Gomorrah. Abraham in Genesis chapter 18 and verse 32 was negotiating with God. And he got him all the way down. Then he said, "O my Lord, not be angry, and I shall speak only once. Suppose 10 people are found there." And he said, "I will not destroy that." But literally, God could not even find 10 moral people in the city of Sodom and Gomorrah. So God went ahead and destroyed it. In verse 1 of chapter 19, it says, "Now 2 angels came to Sodom in the evening, as Lot was sitting at the gate of Sodom. When Lot saw them, he arose to meet them and bowed down with his face to the ground." And then we drop on down to verse 5, and this is talking about the people of Sodom. And it says, "And they called out to Lot and said to him, 'Where are the men who came with you tonight? Bring them out that we may have relations with them.'" And they were talking about homosexuality relations. And do we know of any cities like that today? And I'm sure that you all could name some as well as I could. But that was the type of cities that their morals had gotten so bad that God was going to destroy them. And the time had come. And God literally destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. The angels told Lot to leave and go, and he finally did, him and his wife and his daughters. But his wife, unfortunately, turned and looked back, and she turned into a perpendicular pillar of salt. In Matthew chapter 24, verses 36 through 39, it says, "Truly I say to you, this generation will not pass away until all things take place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. But of the hour and day no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but the Father alone. For the coming of the Son of Man will be just like the days of Noah. For as in those days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and be given in marriage, until the day of Noah entered the ark." Jesus said, not even the angels in heaven, nor him himself, knows when he is going to come back and the world is going to be destroyed again. But there is going to be a time, and we need to talk about that, not to try to scare people, but just to get people ready to get on the ark and be one of the 8. Be one of the people that are saved and able to go to heaven and be with Jesus in heaven. And if we look at James chapter 4 and verse 14, it says our life is like a vapor. It's here for a short time and then it's gone. And those guys that played baseball up until their 40s and 50s, that time goes by quick. I played for 15 years, and it seems like I just played yesterday, but it's a vapor in time. All I have now is just some memories of being able to play. But life is like a vapor. 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 2. "For he says, at the acceptable time I listened to you, and on the day of salvation I helped you. Behold, now is the acceptable time again. Behold, now is the day of salvation." Today is the day to be saved. Today is the day to do what is right. And we here at the Paintsville Church of Christ are interested in your soul. And we want to do anything and everything that we can do to help. But time is important. Be prepared. Be prepared to get on the ark. Be one of the 8. Be one of those baseball people that just never quit playing ever. And understand what time is. And we want to spend eternity in heaven. Thank you again for being with a Shortstop with a Shortstop.